Quarterfinal number 2 continues here at the Lexus Trestles Pro, presented by Outerknown. World number 3, Yago Dora, takes on world number 6, Ethan Ewing.
Beautiful from Ethan. Looks like Yago got the wave behind him. Started off with the beautiful drawn-out carve. He kind of had the same mistake the first day. Wow, that was a huge missed opportunity for Yago, because that wave was probably one of the most lined up waves we had so far this morning. He probably notices that, and he's going to go for a punt right here, but the wave, yeah.
Then Ethan Ewing sitting world number 3. This is how things started, Jesse.
I mean, I love that paddle battle to start it off. That's great. Beautiful carve to open up, and how he was able to regroup after all that tension in the beginning. Jaws it out even more and finish it off on the softer side.
And now rolling into this one, it's Ethan Ewing winding up for the snap. Looking good there, pushing out in front, and a full roundhouse. Cool redirect once again. The king of flow and precision surfing blows the tail out for an exciting finishing move.
But he was able to get up and with all the strain, push through it. Starts off here, gets up vertical, beautiful back. Roundhouse cutback right there for him. Wave slows itself down a bit, but then right here, it gets bowly, gets coping.
Now Yago Dora wants to go left. Nice, healthy, wrapping turn to start. It starts slowing up a bit, so he fills in the gaps well. Throwing some water off the mayhem. Now launching, tail high reverse. Yago Dora finding a nice landing on the lowers left. For spectators, they choose their seats wisely. A lot of them expected Yago to go front side and pull down a big maneuver like that.
Nose up and vertical, but I love this bottom turn here. Do you see how much he delays, Joe, on that bottom turn and fades himself in order to get the most critical part of that wave, because he was kind of fading that wave. And right here, we all expect this from Yago to finish it off on those lefts. Tail high, so lofty. Always gets more pop than expected, mostly from the body language that he's usually does. But this is a beautiful angle from that bottom turn. Look, that wave's fading it out, but he's able to delay himself and get on the most critical part and use all that energy from his body to get a great turn out of a pretty soft section right there. Exclamation point. And he's gonna finish it off. We're talking about Joe Vaughn's inverted airs and griffins, and look at this right there. Look how much, tail was up high, and he's gonna get rewarded with that combination.
What a great split peak. Uh-oh, Yago's up again. Waiting patiently for this thing to stand up. Some creative lines there, but getting sticky, he goes down. So that'll most likely be a throwaway score for Dora.
And Yago sits in a very good position right now. It's almost like a point higher, a little bit less than a point higher from Ethan's first wave. So he needs to get separation and give himself opportunity on the lefts right now.
Having fun with his left is Yago Dora, world number 3. Throws down a nice finish, starting to heat up on his front side. Let's watch what he did on this one.
And he will, I think, Joe, as the heat comes in, but got that wave kind of halfway through, but he knows he just needs a backup of a 5.83, finish it off strong. I don't think this is going to come in a 5.83.
Yago Dora continues to hunt down the lowers left as he comes around the corner into a nice open face slice and steps off, fighting for the lead against Ethan Ewing. Yago still has the highest single score of the matchup, but chasing a 5.83. Gonna have a tough time getting the score on these smaller. Yago's fishing under priority, but we'll see what Ethan can do here, trying to get out of the 6 range on this one. Big blast to start, knifing that section. Whips it from behind to try to gain some ground, an aggressive foam climb. But sometimes that lowers right can shut down quicker than you'd hope. Didn't have priority, kept taking those lefts. Well, before we get there, we'll watch Ethan's again.
Yeah, so this is what I mentioned, like a little bit more urgency right there, a little bit more power, but that wave kind of just ran off of him. Like there was nothing that he could have done better really for his type of surfing. You're gonna see how much Rayo is always engaged with this guy. Beautiful layback, uses that backhand to support himself, transfers the weight perfectly, and right here the wave starts to run down quicker than he was probably hoping for. Almost catches a little bit of that inside wave, has to put the board pretty flat, and then once again I don't know. As far as rail surfing, he could have done anything better on that wave. Just really lacked quality, I guess.
Ethan takes this wave under priority. Big snap to slide. Laying down the rail again on a wrapping cutback. Nice drive through the bottom again. Leans back and crushes it. Puts that board back up again. And drills the finish.
Hands attached to Yago. He kind of had to let that wave go by. It was a smaller wave in size, but starts off redirecting that board, pushing on the back foot. The wave gets a little bit slower, but he somehow always managed to keep the speed on the wave. Beautiful third turn with a lot of release and control, and a little bit late for the last turn, but he had to, because he had to go big on that third one. Commitment very tight on that pocket, the most critical part of the wave. And then this is when the wave gets a little bit flatter, but he's able to generate speed throughout the rails and the fins. And this is the money turn of this wave. Stomps on that back foot, but then transfers the weight over the board to...
They're waves that you can remember as we look at Ethan up and out. 6.93 and a 7.7 for Ethan's roll right now in the lead, looking for a spot in the semifinal. And that's just fueling him right now here on finals day. Ethan springing into his first section here to work with. It's a throw tail, smaller wave. Snaps it on the second one. There's a full roundhouse. Driving into that section as well. That DHD Juliet model looking great. And now lighting up the end section. So that's Ethan adapting. We've seen bigger sets earlier today. We know the swell's on the rise, just having one of those lully type heats at the moment.
But the wave was much smaller in size, and it kind of got flattered throughout the middle part of the wave. We can see here just way down the line more, but starts off with a lot of commitment, like I mentioned. Backs it up with a nice snap. And then that's when I mentioned, like, it lacks energy, this wave. He's doing everything he can. But for the 6.93, I don't think that wave's coming that high.
To take out Ewing. Paddles into a nice looking left-hander. It's got the lip as well. Tags it to get even more speed. Yago's on the wind-up. Big tail high reverse. And he pulls it in a very challenging section.
That was next level. I'm not even talking about the air itself. Like the situation that he sits on.
Sensational.
And like mistimed the first turn, so he knew he had to go massive on the second one. And then right here, he eyes it down. He launches on the perfect spot, but he doesn't project enough down the beach. So he's landing with the lip. That was impressive from Yago, and just shows that he's supposed to be in the top 5 by the end of the year with the surfing like that in critical conditions.
That was massive clutch performance from the highest seed left in the draw. That was the highest seeded matchup we've had in finals day.